Hey Mechateers, this is Jay. Today I'm sort of got an impromptu interview with Rob Balder, creator of Erfworld. It's a webcomic. You can read it online at erfworld.com. Awesome. We're going to do this lickety-split, so bear with me. Having read a little bit of Erfworld over the years, it kind of blends a ton of genres and I guess cultural references all into one. Where did the idea for Erfworld really come from?
Well, the original idea was that I wanted to do fantasy's answer to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And so I was setting out to do, when I first started, I was setting out to do a kind of a farce, right? Where it was going to be, everything was analogous to corporations and things like that in our world. And I was going to play fast and loose with the details, and it wasn't going to really matter whether things held together or not.
Yeah.
Our opportunity to go onto Giant in the Playground, where we launched the comic, sort of changed what I wanted to do with the story, because the people who read Order of the Stick are all D&D players, they're all rules lawyers, right? So I said, all right, if I'm going to make a story about a gamer and it's in a game-like universe, then I know that I'm going to have to make it internally consistent. I'm going to have to do depth of detail, heavy complexity, heavy backstory, and it's all got to hold together because they'll pick it apart. I mean, they're ready to jump on any inconsistency in any detail, and I knew they were like that ahead of time.
Yeah.
You know, being an Order of the Stick reader myself, I did a guest comic at Order of the Stick, and I got some surprising. And so, you know, I changed the story to be much more of a epic scope, but it kept that farcical, like, you know, cultural reference thing as well. And I came up with an in-story, in-universe reason for that as well. So.
Okay, so actually it leads into my second question. You were hosted on the Order of the Sticks website, Giant in the Playground, for a while. So was it? Did the guy in charge help you with that, or was it just the fan base?
Oh no, Rich was fantastic. We had met on panels at other conventions in the early 2000s, and you know, we hit it off, and you know, we were finishing each other's sentences on panels and stuff like that. So he had wanted to do another comic on his site that fit the description of a comic that he didn't know I was developing. And when he mentioned that, I mentioned my project, and we saw it as a natural fit. So he just said, all right, let's put it on Giant in the Playground. But of course, that's his site, that was his crowd. We definitely wanted to develop our own thing, our own website. I had ideas for a website that once we had an audience would really work for us. So yeah, Rich helped us out a lot. It was probably the best launch that any new story webcomic could ever hope for, because he had such a huge, enthusiastic audience there, and it was our task to win them over, which wasn't easy at first.
Yeah.
But eventually, because we had the time to play it out, people sort of got their heads around what we were doing with Erfworld, and then we got our own audience budding off from there.
Okay, and as I mentioned, you do blend a lot of stuff together into your story. How do you choose what to add, and is there a certain type of balance where you don't want to add too much?
Well, there's the rule of funny.
Okay.
You know, if it's really hysterically funny, you pretty much override your other rules to put it in there. But yeah, if it's interfering in any way, everything that goes into the comic is in support of the story. So everything that we do with the art, every detail that we throw in there, story comes first. And if it's serving some aspect of the story, then it goes in. And if it's extraneous but funny, then it stays in. If it's extraneous but then I'll throw it out. And I'm fairly particular about which gags I keep and which ones I leave on the cutting room floor.
Okay. If someone wanted to pick up Erfworld right now, are there any warnings or mentions you would give to a new reader? It's not as cute as it looks, is one, because that's kind of the dichotomy of the adorableness of everything in Erfworld with the gritty war story that we're actually telling is part of the sensibility of Erfworld, and people can be fooled if they judge it by its cover.
Other than that, well, there's one swear word in book 1 and more swear words in book 2, so that's about it. And there's some implied adult content, but it's very heavily masked, so it's not like it would go over the head of a young reader.
Okay. Actually, can you get a look at some of the dwagons? This is what he's talking about with the cute look here. They're adorable. But it is a gritty war story, so you get to see these things really tear it up.
They will kill you as soon as look at you.
Yes.
They're vicious. They will bite your head right off.
You recently had a Kickstarter, pretty successful. What would you say lies in store for fans of Erfworld without giving too much away?
Oh, well, you know, people ask me all the time, like, how far is the series going to go? There will be a definite end to the series, but we have a working title for book 5 right now, and we're on book 2 of 3 because we have a book 0 prequel going on as well. So we're transitioning into the new artist, David Hahn. He will be taking over for book 3 and hopefully beyond. The Kickstarter that's running right now is a alphabet book. It's the letters of the alphabet, teaching our new artist how to draw these characters and concepts in Erfworld. So it's people who donate to the Kickstarter get a copy of that book, and we'll get him up to speed, have him do the epilogues of book 2, and then beyond that we'll have another Kickstarter for him to do book 3, and the new website hopefully will be up by the middle of the summer as well.
All right. What would you say is your creative process? Where do you get your drive?
Oh, shucks, baby. Oh, that's such a broad question. It's almost 2 questions. The process that I go through is, and I was saying this on one of the panels last night, I think about a broad story arc in terms of resolving a central question that the book is asking. And then the first question, it's, is Parson going to survive? Second question, it's more this one battle and how is it going to shake out? But within those arcs, you have little arcs of tension. What's going to happen to this character? Little mysteries that have to be solved, things that have to be revealed. And so when I'm thinking about it, I do a plot outline. I have the resolution in mind, but the middle ground between asking the question and solving the question, I let my characters kind of roam and be themselves for a while. If they find their way to the solution, great, that's what I'm going to write. If they don't find their way to the resolution that I'm looking for, then I say, no, and I sweep it off the table and I say, let's start again with the same characters. Still so that it's natural, still there's a progression toward this end, so I'm never writing myself in the corner, never getting lost. But I try to let the characters develop the story and the plot organically as much as that's possible. I'll just wipe it away if it's not working, but otherwise I'll let it go on its own and see where it leads.
Okay, and then this is just a throwaway question, it's how I end all of my interviews. Who would win in a fight, an astronaut or a caveman?
I think it's fairly an obvious case of home field advantage.
So
in space, the caveman stands no chance whatsoever.
All right, sounds good. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it, and you have a great time, man.
Thank you. I'm having a great time at A-Kon.
All right.